Namaste from RudraTree. Recently, some of our customers in various social media platforms have asked us, is there any hybrid Rudrakshas in yield right now, or we are producing any hybrid Rudrakshas? The answer is a bit kind of tricky here. There is no hybrid Rudrakshas as such, but there are some chemicals or fertilizers which are used to make the Rudraksha grow bigger in size. So the commonly used terminology in the market is chemical dana. Dana means seed. So any chemical which is not grown organically by artificial fertilizers, the fertilizers are not fed to the tree. Since many of you know, we also have a farm there in Nepal. So it is not fed to the tree. The fertilizers, it's generally, it is a very fertile soil in Aruna Valley. There's no need for any special care or fertilizer required. A good hydration, and the soil itself is so fertile. It's a Shiva soil. Nepal itself is a Shiva soil. So it is very rich. But what happens is that some of the customers overseas prefer the Rudrakshas, especially from China. They prefer the Rudrakshas smooth and large. And many of you may not be knowing the fact, China is the world's largest consumer of Rudrakshas. So from RudraTree, most of our export of various mukis of Rudrakshas goes to China. So what happens is the Chinese customers prefer to have a soft Rudrakshas with a soft texture on it, because the Rudrakshas are meant for meditation. Beautifully they put it as a crown and sit for meditation. Though China is a non-religious country, but they believe in meditation, spirituality. So most of the customers want it to be smooth so that the tarnished nature of the Rudrakshas doesn't prick them. So what happens naturally, the fertilizers also are imported from China. So when we spray the fertilizer on the fruit, not to the root, on the fruit, when there's a flowering happens, when the fruit formation starts, the fertilizers are sprayed directly on the fruits. So that makes the Rudraksha to grow faster, bigger, and also smooth in structure. It's a natural process. There's nothing artificial there. But what happens is the size of the Rudraksha grows very fast, and when the Rudraksha is removed from the fruit pulp, we have observed the weight of the Rudraksha significantly reduces. I have tested some Rudrakshas myself in some farmer beings as an antique piece or super collector piece, because as you know, Rudraksha comes in various sizes. Super collector or antique or collector are bigger sizes of Rudrakshas. So just take a hair dryer and spray it on the Rudraksha for 4-5 days. Completely, for 5 minutes also if you do it, expose it to hot hair, completely the Rudraksha will become dry. The Rudraksha will float on the water because the density of the Rudraksha will become lighter than that of water. Usually it is higher than that of the water. So the Rudraksha is smooth, it is large, but the seeds becomes non-viable. So that's what we tell, this is a dead Rudraksha, which is not meant for our spiritual practice. So at RudraTree we take utmost care that we don't bring in those kind of Rudrakshas in our supply chain at all. Even though our export is major export to China and we are one of the world's largest exporter of Rudrakshas, so we don't indulge in these practices of artificially modifying the nature of Rudraksha, which is the property of Shiva. That's a fundamental belief of RudraTree for over a century now. So when you look for a collector size Rudraksha or a super collector size Rudraksha, please be aware these fertilizers make them to grow fast. It's not a natural growth. Yes, naturally also you'll get a super collector. Say for example a 14 Mukhi. Yeah, 14 Mukhi Rudraksha, which is close to some 34-35 mm, we call super collector or even 33 mm also sometimes. Depends on the formation, size and weight of Rudrakshas. So we even get 40 mm, 45 mm also we see Rudrakshas when the chemical is sprayed. So the problem here is that when the buyer, the consumer, the devotee of Shiva wants a much larger Rudraksha, they end up in getting the chemical dana or the Rudraksha which is been cultivated with fertilizers sprayed on the fruit. So it's not a hybrid, it's a natural from the trees only, but the harvesting method or the cultivation method is different here. So this is one issue. And also one more customer has asked that is there any process people make it to make the Rudraksha big in size? Yes, which is an abandoned practice in Nepal. Nepal government and horticulture department also takes a serious note of clipping the Rudraksha. When the fruit comes, the Rudraksha is clipped and pressed so that the size increases. So that only an expert can tell. No X-ray report can tell you. No self-proclaimed laboratories will tell you. A person who has observed Rudraksha for a century like RudraTree or some companies who are there in Rudraksha's business more than 40-50 years only can identify which is of those kind of Rudrakshas. So we have to be very careful when you come to Rudraksha where you are buying. As usual I tell, don't buy from tourist places. Avoid buying it online is all what, unless otherwise the person is a reputed person, don't buy online also is what we always advise. So if you take a hybrid, the chemical dana, the Rudraksha grown with the fertilizers, artificial chemicals, you will immediately find that the potency loses, you will not find anything changing in your life. The spiritual connect after wearing Rudraksha doesn't also come easily. So it's a major drawback of getting a Rudraksha. And also this year 2024, the prices of the Rudrakshas have increased significantly. There's a close to 100 to 200% increase in the purchasing cost of Rudraksha only. As we are all farmers, the demand is more. You know, the world operates in terms of demand and supply. So the demand is more, supply is less. So the prices have increased this year significantly high. So please be aware that the prices are high and please be aware of getting a chemically altered Rudrakshas which doesn't bring any effect. Please understand this. So when I say chemically altered, if you have seen the Indonesian Rudrakshas, it will be very smooth structures. Okay, there also they started doing because the Indonesian Rudrakshas are used across cultures, across religions as a prayer bead, as a japamala. So it is people expect to be smooth. So that practice was there in Indonesia for more than 50 years to bring in a smoother beads without any thorny structure on it. So that culture has also been implemented in some of the places of Nepal Rudrakshas. So some farmers are sticking to the value system in terms of no, we will not alter the Rudrakshas. So those are the Rudrakshas, we will get it from RudraTree. So please contact us for all the directly sourced from Aruna Valley, cleansed in Aruna River, and it comes to Tennaduடைய Sivane Potri. That means Shiva lives in South India is what ancient poem says. It goes to the ancient temples in various parts of the country. Then we energize it and provide it to you. So please contact us for all the Rudraksha necessities. Om Namah Shivaya.